Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Venture Science podcast. I'm your host, Graydon Orr. Thank you for being here with us. We're at Octane Tech Innovation Forum at AV Irvine, California. Glorious day as ever. How happy are you to be in Southern California right about now, Ryan?
You know, I live here, so it's hard for me to leave. Although I live in Long Beach, which is a little bit more north than the southern, but anywhere Southern California, it's hard to find me somewhere else.
I hear you. So tell me about the anteaters. Well, the entrepreneurs, not the anteaters.
Yes.
Well, it's one of the others. So.
Well, UCI, we are the anteaters.
Yeah.
And I run the undergraduate entrepreneurship center, which we call affectionately the Entrepreneur Center.
I like it.
And we're really good at helping students start.
Right.
And we're at the very beginning of the funnel of the experience. In fact, a lot of students don't even identify as entrepreneurs. I'll be in front of a class, 200 people, and how many entrepreneurs do we have here? And maybe two people will flare, but then they realize nobody else put their hands up, and it's like this.
Stop.
And then maybe any side hustlers in here, and you have a couple people, but I think
you should have asked them who has a TikTok channel.
Yes, and who's a creator?
Who's a creator? Or who has a YouTube channel? Because everybody will stick their hands up, and you'll be like, "You are entrepreneurs."
But we're helping to redefine entrepreneurship and what makes sense for them, which is the skills that come along with it, mm-hmm. and the teamwork, and the leadership, and the experiences. So we cater towards all of the different campuses, all the different, the different majors, because we're not part of the business school. We're part of the division of undergraduate education.
Okay.
So it's an amazing resource where students can start a company. They can join our innovation challenges.
But this is like Grassroots by the sounds of it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're at seed level.
I am pre-seed level. We're undergraduate.
No, I don't mean from a finance side. I'm thinking from an idea side.
Oh, yes.
Literally.
These are very early stage, and there's some really exciting startups that are coming from students. We have a couple students that are actually taking a gap because they've gotten so much traction. They're heading up to get some funding and support up north, all the way to somebody who is a side hustler doing braiding eyelashes and eyebrows, right? So it's a
okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you know, entrepreneurship is something where students learn to solve problems and to make a little bit of money on the side, and it takes all different forms. So we cater to those that are looking to build high-tech, VC-backable companies.
Yeah.
And then also people who want to be creators.
Right, I can imagine for those people that are taking a gap year, they're probably, the professors are going to kill me for saying this, but they're probably going to learn more in that 1 year hustle in the street for their company than they are going to do in 4 years of business school. I'm just saying, apart from the formalities.
Well, I'd say the same thing for a business competition or an innovation challenge or a hackathon. You could learn more in a half a day with hands-on experience.
100%.
And I think it's amazing to see this transition of information. And a lot of stuff talking about today with AI, and there's the buzz, and at the end of the day, you have all these resources, all this information, but we help to create that motivation for students to want to go learn and to get hit in the face.
And what's going to be actually amazing for you is you're seeing these fledgling ideas with these fledgling students.
Yes.
And then let me ask you a question. How do you deal with somebody that comes to you with something that you know in your heart has absolutely zero chance of making it out the side door, let alone the back door?
I'll say that it has a 100% chance of helping them gain experience.
Is this your actual verbiage?
This is me.
No, wait, this is me. This is me coming to you. Hey, Ryan, I've got this great idea, and I'm going to make a flamethrower.
Okay, in real life, as it plays out, we're very Socratic with our consultants.
Okay, yeah.
So we never tell a student that their idea is bad. In fact, some that could be like soul crushing, right? And so these are people who are at this early stage, and it takes so much courage to come and to share their idea with somebody. And so you get excited about why they're solving their problem. Well, why is this? And what's the story behind it? And what do you think you should do? When they say, is this a good idea? Because they all say that.
Yeah.
This is the heart of your question.
Yeah.
We all say, well, am I the right person to ask?
Because, actually a great answer for that question, really.
Like, if I just told you, sure, this is great, what value is it?
Right.
Then you get into customer discovery, and then you can talk about a business model canvas, and you can give them structure.
Right.
Then you can give them encouragement to enter the new venture competition, and then to come to some TCVN events and to get out there. And they find out pretty quickly that maybe it won't work. And then all of a sudden you talk to them and now it's pivoted to something else.
Right.
Or they've joined another team. Or their idea got knocked out of the competition, So now they're looking to join another
Start again, yeah.
Right, and so I think it's so important and such a foundational part of this larger, whether you call it ecosystem or system or what we're all trying to do together,
Right.
just support everywhere. This is the next generation coming up.
100%.
So there are these, unicorns in making, but there's also like people who are going to be the first employees, and the people who are going to be supporting, and people who are going to be buying the products and looking at things from a startup perspective.
Yeah.
I love to sail, and I really look at what we do is we help build ships.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great analogy, actually. I can see, as a sailor, I can see where you're going with that.
So you first, you talk about maybe it starts with friendship, and they become friends because they come to the center and meet other people. They don't have ideas, but they do. And then maybe it turns into something that's like some sort of partnership.
Right.
And through that, they get a little bit of leadership.
Right.
And then through that, they understand, like, salesmanship is important because you've got this idea.
Right.
Go sell it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's entrepreneurship. I can't help but see the ship.
Yeah.
And it's an entrepreneurship. So we
Because they
just have
came through your
people
system.
building.
Yeah.
We have over 20 affiliated clubs. So these students that have their own interests and they see themselves as entrepreneurial, they want to learn. So we treat their club like TEDx UC Irvine.
Right.
Helping them learn on marketing and business and things.
Yeah.
So we're really a place for students to start and to help them understand what these other resources are when they're ready. And it's great. It's like a startup house. I don't have an office. It sort of feels like a big co-working space.
Got it.
We have a mini maker lab with a laser cutter, 3 3D printers, and a t-shirt press.
Okay.
So you need your startup t-shirt. We
There you
teach you
go.
how to do it.
That's actually so. Wow, when I said grassroots earlier, I didn't realize how actual. But not only that, it's not only grassroots from an idea point of view, but it's also from a almost a pre-launch, as in you're giving them the tools and the space and yes,
and a place to play. So
Yeah.
that when I always tell students, the best time to start a company is in college, because even if it's the worst idea, and we know that they're not all amazing ideas, they're not all profitable. If you're in college and it happens, people are going to support you.
Sure.
Even if it's a terrible idea.
Well, you're in a safe place where it's okay to fail because
have fun.
Exactly.
And back to your point of you learn when you do.
100%.
Oh my God! I don't know if you've spoken in a lecture hall or a classroom recently, but when you have 200 students looking at you, I'd say half of them are not looking at you; they're looking at their computers.
Right.
And the other half are on their phones.
Yeah.
And I was giving a presentation the other day, and I could hear this clicking, click, 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 click. I'm like, I'm having fun, we're like engaging, but I was stopping. I'm like, you guys in the back, like, just could you stop typing for just a minute, right? Like, in the classroom environment is not. The information of knowledge is from people doing and building and making things. And the podcast studio at our center built it out, fully equipped with 4 microphones, top of the line mixers.
Is it being used?
Oh, it's being booked almost daily. We have full day bookings where it's booked the entire day often, and we have video trainings for them to learn. Right? Like, how does this work? Well, have you gone to the website? Well, do you want video? Oh, you're gonna have to figure this out. I have an A10 Mini Pro so that they can know how to cut. Film,
right.
And as long as it ends up the same, they can do whatever they want.
This is, what an incredible opportunity for future, or actually not future. Everyone in some way or another is an entrepreneur, right? Yeah.
Innovators. The world of work as we know it is
just ideation.
Yes.
Boom.
And looking at things critically and thinking and design thinking and
not being afraid to get it wrong, because you and I both know that I can't tell you how many failures I've gone through, because I promise I thought at one point some crazy gizmo was going to be something everybody needs. Yeah. This is the next Rubik's Cube. You're going to need this. And this is a complete joke. I disappeared.
Well, another thing which I think is important is you can have this best idea, whatever you think it is, but your ability or inability to communicate that idea is a huge part of the process.
Yeah.
So we have Toastmasters at the UCI Toastmasters. We hold it at the center, and we have pitch competitions, and we work on those soft skills.
Yeah.
And they have poster presentations, and it all sort of equates. But it's the hands-on experience, it's that learning, it's the community. You never know who you're going to meet, and students when you get them into the same space. And
they're all kind of, I don't know if you found, they'll sort of eventually, it's almost like cells. They will end up clustering together with likes. The like attracts like,
yep,
you know.
Like attracts like.
And next thing you know, you got a little mini group over here that come up with an idea. I think I think this is fantastic.
It's amazing.
What do you think? What's the hardest part for you? Do you see? I mean, what is the greatest obstacle or barrier?
The biggest challenge is in showing the value that this has for students in their life and this impact to the outside community. Now, we don't have core funds, and so I'm either raising or we are making as a center the money to operate. And so it's truly a startup that it's a business.
In and of itself is a startup, really.
And so I'm always raising money. We have corporate circle members for $25,000. You can be grass level with this. And we've had success with getting people on, but the hardest thing is to be like, look, you want to spend millions and invest all of this, like, to get involved and meet these students at this level and support them.
That's priceless.
They will get to learn.
Because your next CTO might be right there.
Yeah, or they might design the
next product.
agentic AI flow for you to not have to have that CMO.
Sure.
I was just listening to Y Combinator, another juggernaut. We've partnered with them, and we are the first university that has ever officially partnered with Y Combinator to use their Y school curriculum, their startup school curriculum, as part of our curriculum for a unit class that students get units for. And we tested it out with 50 students, and we took basically a lot of their content for their startup school, which is amazing education.
Right.
Go through this if you're going to apply, because they're telling you what they want.
Right.
And as a result of that class, we had such great feedback. We had students applying to YC as a result. I emailed Jared when it comes in, he gets to take a look at it. And then we expanded to 100 students the next year.
Right.
And we had another 3 students that applied. I'm meeting with somebody on Monday who's getting their YC application together. And it's just bringing that awareness to students that may not have even heard of YC.
That's outstanding. What is the longest life cycle you've been part of?
So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I started the first Christmas light hanging business in Huntington Harbor when I was in 6th grade, because I was on a ladder hanging lights on my parents' house, because we're big in the boat parade. We're the butterfly boat, but we are the
boat, right?
We are it, and it's always important. I was also a ginger and didn't have many friends because, I just was focused on Christmas lights. But I'm up on top of a ladder, and I hear this, Ryan, I need help. And I knew it was Mrs. Kawaguchi. I'm like, Mrs. Kawaguchi, please, I'm on a ladder. Like, can I get back to you? She's like, I need help with my Christmas lights. And that's when I had this moment. I was like, I'm just going to throw out the most ridiculous number. I'm like, Mrs. Kawaguchi, for $20 an hour, I'll do it for you. And she's like, you can start tomorrow. I almost fell out of the ladder. I almost dropped the staple gun. I made $286 that weekend.
Oh my gosh.
And then I went straight to the trash cans and colored pencils and crayons and did, Lights by Ryan.
Yeah.
And 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, hired my brother and sister, then hired friends, all through high school. That was my job. Even in college, I'd come back from UCSB and just hit up my friends and my clients. So I've always been an entrepreneur.
Right.
Started as a side hustle. But I've had some big wins and losses, and after a really big loss, I was like, I need some stability and some income.
Yeah.
Saw that UCI was opening this new center called the Entrepreneur Center, and this was in 2014.
Okay.
So I went.
So you've been there for a while.
In 2014, I was like, this is one of my first real jobs.
Right.
Because I had done all these startups and bigs and losses.
Right.
And I got the job as the assistant director when it opened, and it is amazing to see what's happened in the last 10 years. And there is a student that was one of the original students.
Yeah.
And he had developed an app called Circles.
Okay.
And it uses Bluetooth technology to find your radius around people. And then if certain likes or interests, you could connect, right? Stuff I've even heard today, people just still trying to do that.
Right.
And he's trying to raise money, and nobody believes him, right? He talks to people, and they're like, that's a bad idea. It's your classic student going nowhere, and then he busts in the door, and he goes, I got funded. And we're just like, oh, my God, you got funded. I sold my car. And we're like, oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
So he ran down with that, and changed this and everything, and he's a surfer.
Yeah.
And he's also a skater.
Yeah.
And he was just, he somehow had an inspiration, probably because he's trained to look at things as a problem and think of things as an entrepreneur, and he decided there's a better way to make a skateboard.
Yeah.
The problem is it doesn't feel like surfing.
Right.
So he created waterborne skates 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh,
He's
that came
still in
out of
business.
that.
Came out of UCI. UCI supported that whole journey. He's still in business today. He's a rock star. I still hang out. We still skate sometimes. It's amazing.
That is awesome.
And this is where, like, at this stage, a lot of students think that all they need is funding.
Yeah.
But it's not. And I think at this stage, we need funding to support the center so that they can get that. If a student gets $500, like we have, if they get $1,000,
oh man,
it's life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so my biggest problem is, how do I convince the corporations who need to build these relationships and want to build the relationships and might even support things like this, but don't want to put $25,000 in a bucket a year, that just creates these funds, these excitement, all of this real energy.
Yeah.
That's going to light them on fire for when the real stuff happens.
Yeah.
And the closest answer I have to it is based on the simple business principle that it's all value. If I can give you a certain amount of value, you're willing to give me a certain amount of value.
Sure.
As long as the value that you get is more.
Right.
If I give you $100 and you only have to give me back like less than that, there's an upside.
Yeah, of course. Or less than that in a product that I know that I've made a profit on this product, and there you go. Yeah.
So we have launched a micro-internship program. We launched it in 2022. As of now, we have 3,500 students on the platform. We have completed 220 micro-internships. We have 20 plus that are on the board right now, and we've moved over $141,000 with startups, companies, corporations hiring UCI students through this portal. And what's interesting about do you know what a micro-internship is? Yeah,
actually. Yeah. Somebody was telling me about it up at the campus on Monday. Yeah.
It's a way for you to hire a student without them being your employee.
Yeah.
You're contracting with a law firm who has an independent contractor who is fulfilling a description of deliverables.
So you don't have all of the payroll issues. You don't have any of the liability.
You don't have to worry about any of that. And so this is what I think the key is, because if I can get you to hire a student for 20 hours to do a website audit or to create a social campaign or to help you edit a podcast, and you're paying them $20 an hour, but it would cost you $35 or $40 to hire a professional, there's that value split.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to figure out a way, that's really this experiential bridge gapping.
Right.
And at the center, we want to support UCI being known as a top-ranked school for
entrepreneurship. Yeah.
And the Princeton Review is one that I have my eyes on, and internally as a team, we're looking at our strategic plan to see how we can not only show all the amazing stuff that's happened at UCI, but make sure that what we're doing is contributing to what matters for being ranked as helping to bring attention to the important sport. So I've got the biggest problem. I have a slight solution. I just have to
plug the right pieces and players. Yeah.
I'm doing exactly what I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and that's the whole thing. So
but again, I think it takes somebody exactly like you to solve this problem, because you're going to come at it from not from one angle or one direction. You're going to 360 this thing, and as you do that, you're going to find out where the holes are that need to be plugged in, and then through your network, or even through some of the students, you can say, hey, you know what? Don't stop what you're doing, but I need you to do this as well. Take a look at this. And then I think it's very empowering for them to be in that learning environment, but actually feel like they're part of a functioning solution to an existing problem.
And to see and to feel and to experience that excitement of startup.
Yeah.
And
there is nothing, I mean, you and I both know we've gone through countless startups and failures, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing
Most
better.
of them do fail, by the way.
Yeah, of course they do.
Back to your question, like, do you really think this is going to work? Like 99% of the time, you can be like, no. But
you'll crush their souls to coin your term as that.
But you get them to do a couple, and now they'll be like, well, I've already had like 3 ideas, and
you didn't like it, yeah.
But no, it becomes like a badge of honor once they get through a few.
Yeah.
But if I were to say bad.
You'll kill them. Now they'll probably drop out and go do something else. They'll go to med school. That's good. So if somebody wanted to get hold of you to learn more about your program, if you got any of those corporations out there or small companies or anything that are looking to do an internship or paid internship, a micro-internship with you, or even get on board and give back, all of those people that are in a position to be able to give back, this is something worthwhile to really get involved in and give back, because somebody gave something for all of you guys, you successful folks, to get where you are. Somebody gave something to help you get there. Pay it forward. Pay it forward.
Well, to check out the Entrepreneur Center, you can go to entrepreneur.uci.edu. Now, the spelling, it's not that difficult. It's just like entrepreneur, but A-N-T instead of E-N-T. So it's simple. And if you follow us on LinkedIn or Instagram, you know, we share a lot of that. On our website, there's a mailing list sign up. And every month I share sort of what happened the month prior. There's always calls to action. There are ways to get involved. And I would love for those who want to give back to end up being tax deductible, because it's through the university as well. But it's really not a donation. It's an investment in your future employees, your future people who are driving innovation. The people that we're pontificating about today, they're not here in the room right now. They're studying. They're over there. They're on campus.
Making tomorrow happen.
And I think that if we all continue to do our part, UCI will continue to be ranked and will continue to be recognized, which is the validation and the trust that these people need in order to invest their money. And so check us out there. If you want to learn more about me, you can find me online at ryan.online. I've got 3 podcasts. I've got 4 TEDx talks. I do a lot of content creation. I draw a lot of stick figures. And I also rap.
Well, there you go. If you want to learn to rap, get a hold of Ryan.
Well, I don't teach so much. We're going to wrap this up right now.
Wrap it up.
So let me wrap it up. And this is something that, you know, I think can inspire a student, or can inspire you, or can inspire you. If you, well, do you do beatboxes or anything? You gonna give me a beat?
I can give you a beat. Here we go. Here's our beat.
This would just work.
Let's go faster. Let's go faster.
If you got an idea, why don't you bring it right here? If you want to change the world, I'd love to hear. Now, it could be big, or it could be small, or it could be for profit, or not at all.
This is what you get when you like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks a bunch, Ryan. What a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.